Now it's time to farm for the bee. And look, there's a bitch. That's a good combo. Bee plus bitch. What would you call it? Bitch and bee? Bee-itch? Biatch? Bee plus tactician, you can call that something like tactical bee, I guess. Axton has good synergy with any and all amp shields.
Buy a gun already! I'll always buy guns you don't need. I'm sure we'll be doing this again soon enough.
Remember, on normal mode, it didn't take me very many tries to score a bee. And early on in Tango Victor Hotel Mike, there's that one grenade I needed. It didn't take me very many tries to score a fastball.
You can always trust the gun at your side.
Now there's a style of grenade I always get lots of use out of if I'm not using something fancy. Lobbed slag singularity. I prefer the basic lobbed kind. That way I don't have to second guess myself. Fuse time ranging between, what is it? I know I mention this all the time. 0.0 and 1.8. I'll go as high as 2.0. And that one had 1.8, so it's perfectly within acceptable bounds.
A fantastic day for capitalism.
So if I didn't already have what I have, I would consider buying it, even though it's a yellow. Since I'd be using it mostly for slagging, you can get away with being green. Did I say yellow? Yeah, I meant green label. I said yellow because, you know, Hyperion colors. In Borderlands 1, Hyperion made 7 types of weapons. And I think they were the only company that did so. How many did Malawan make? Is it 6, or did they make a 7th weapon type? Anyway, Hyperion and Borderlands 1, they made semi-automatic repeaters. They made machine pistols that could be either full auto or 5-round burst. SMGs, combat rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, and rocket launchers. Did you know technically Tediore also made 7 types of weapons in Borderlands 1? 5 types of handheld weapons plus 2 types of mounted weapons. The machine guns and rocket launchers on Outrunners are manufactured by Tediore, which is why they have unlimited ammo. Because that was Tediore's thing in Borderlands 1, but only their legendaries. Don't really need to gamble for anything at this juncture.
If you got the money, I'll save your gold-earned life.
I could stash all of these. Were you quoting Poochie?
Buy a gun already.
there's nothing interesting in there. From The Simpsons. Oh, what's this? It'll be a level 40. Is it a booster? No, it's a turtle. I'm actually not the only Borderlands player in the world who likes booster shields. Just one of the few. Oh, I'd kind of like to see how much synergy this synergy has with the bee, so I might as well take it with me.
Explain it to me again.
You're more than just a sniper, Morty.
Like I said, instead of punching, I prefer to keep my distance from the target, pick my moment, and kill them with a single well-placed shot.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You lost me yet.
Need something with a pig sticker on it. I've got 2 guns with Vlad barrels. Double tap and synergy, and those are probably my 2 faves that have Vlad barrels.
Almost dead? I can fix that.
Metal Storm just isn't my style.
2 words, my friend. No refund.
Why am I opening those up? I'm good on ammo. Let me go grab a can of birch beer. But as I mentioned before, it's not beer, it's soda. You know, like root beer. It's just birch. It has a really nice flavor to it. Back with my drink. I remember back in 2008. When I first started making DoomTube videos, I was working in a mattress factory at the time, and I worked a 10-hour shift Monday through Thursday. My favorite shift. And oftentimes ideas for videos, stalker videos at that time would just hit me while I was at work. And I try to keep those in my head, which I didn't really have a problem with at that time. I was 28 back in 2008. Nowadays I have to write myself notes. I still use post-it notes. I'm a relic of the Cold War. Save those for later.
This just in, Pandora. The bandits That scum who killed Jack's daughter has just set the Old Haven orphanage ablaze, and...
Reinforcements requested. Hyperion Truce Network. Deploying.
Did you just throw a grenade through the wall? This.
Today, Hyperion struck a great blow against the bandit hordes of Pandora. The terrorist stronghold of New Haven is in ashes. Thanks to the work of a courageous informant known as Shep Sanders, Hyperion infiltrated the town shortly before daybreak this morning. The Hyperion troops, led of course by Handsome Jack, managed to capture the bandit known as Brick and execute the terrorist witch known as Lilith. Today is truly a great day.
Shep Sanders got what he deserved.
Trouble on the border world, listeners. Hyperion Truth Broadcasting has learned that less than a week after Hyperion's arrival on Pandora, factions of murderous bandits are doing their damnedest to terrorize Hyperion peacekeepers, and sow chaos across Pandora. These pathetic bandits claim to have opened the vault. Should you encounter these terrorists, report them to Hyperion at once.
What you call chaos, we call freedom.
Today marks an historic occasion, listeners. The day order came to Pandora. After heroically opening the vault and destroying the evil inside, our beloved leader, Handsome Jack, dispatched miners, surveyors, soldiers, and engineers to the savage border planet. Jack wishes to assure the populace that Hyperion will bring peace and order to the lawless hell that Pandora has become. Bandits, psychos, these will be a thing of the past. With Hyperion in charge, Pandora can look forward to a very bright future indeed.
What you call order, we call oppression.
A fantastic day for capitalism. Don't have too much fun.
I'll score a B before I turn it before I turn in this mission.
Get your health and shields right here. You're an organ donor, right?
Still want to check the shops. Just out of curiosity.
Reinforcements requested at Hyperion Truth Network. Deploying.
Where is he? I heard him, but where is he? Maybe I have to turn in the mission before he appears again. Would you kindly piss off? Could these things be any more annoying?
Everybody good?
Guns! Glorious guns!
I am in the market for another launch.
Farewell, friend.
But do I really need one, or do I just want one? In the market for a bandit launcher. No longer need a fire one.
Explain it to me again.
Like I said, instead of punching, I prefer to keep my distance from the target. Pick my moment.
Might as well check the shops, because I am after more than just a bee.
If he ain't dead, I'll keep you that way.
Why loot the dead when you can buy from me? A fantastic day for capitalism. Come back anytime.
Cowboy capitalism, as opposed to crony capitalism.
Enjoy your propaganda.
No more propagandastic. Malarchius Maximus. No more fake news.
Let me know if anything catches your eye. Goodbye, friend.
This machine kills globalist media cucks.
Get your health and shields right here. Try not to die. Next time you're bleeding to death.
Hashtag demonetized. Ha! I don't monetize my videos in the first place. Not bad, not bad. I have a hole puncher, a blue hole puncher for one of my Kriegs with a twin shot accessory. I mean, it's no Herald and it's no pocket rocket, but as far as standard issue Torg revolvers go, pretty decent. If people still use that expression.
Who's there? I don't have any of
I could buy that acid launcher and use it as a replacement for my acid sniper rifle.
Hope you get ahead your shots. Stay alive out there.
Guns!
Yeah, why not?
Enjoy your dog.
Now that I've got rocket launchers to replace my sniper rifles, I could sell both of these. It's always such a shame to sell a Snyder, though. They're plain old greens, but still. I might decide to...
Why
you know what?
when you can buy from me?
Yeah.
Check back later to see my new weapon of the day.
I don't really need to stab things in the face all the time.
Buy a gun already.
There. I've recovered
I'm always happy to take your money.
a decent portion of lost funds. Spring cleaning. That looks like what is that? A turtle shield, or is that a adaptive?
If you got the money, I'll save your gold-earned life. Set out.
You won't find better merchandise anywhere else. I made sure of that.
Hey, y'all, welcome to the Daily Crew. Get your ride. That was 47%, more than 26% death annually.
Vomitous. That's a funny word. Once I have the B, of course, I'm going to keep this. Some people actually think you need to have a sham in order to regen rockets with the Logan's gun, but as illustrated, you don't.
Let me know if anything catches your eye.
For now, slag is what I need. I bet Torg and Malawan colors look awesome on vehicles. Any and all sorts of vehicles. Oh! It took no time at all. That means swap this for this, this for this, this for this. Really? Bring it. Now I'm wondering, should I go and slay Dukino's parent and get the buffalo? Will my current gear be adequate, even with the B, for that purpose? Or should I wait until I have use key? Quit being sluggish. Was mashing down the use key and not picking stuff up. Irritates me so much when that happens. Or should I wait till I have a lady fist? It's different when you're fighting Saturn, because against Saturn you know that you can use terrain to your advantage, but against Dukino's parent, remember why I call it that? I think Skags are hermaphroditic. Really? I don't remember whether or not Dukino's mom/parent, dad-mom, is resistant to elemental effects. I guess I could go try it out. Should probably wait till I'm back up to 2 million.
Welcome, customer. Don't die. I need your business.
Really wasn't expecting to score a B quite so quickly go fast. Wouldn't mind getting my mitts on a blue label
Winter's coming.
Jacob's Iron.
I thought being in the lands.
Buy a gun already. High quality, low prices, and no questions asked. Remember, we're always open.
Explain it to me again.
I like to play Morty as a gunslinger. Focusing on mashers and machine pistols, mostly.
I'm legally obligated to tell you, I ain't a real doctor.
Something like this might have come in handy earlier, but I don't need it now.
Stay alive out there.
You can never be too well armed. I'm always happy to take your money. Anywhere else?
Gotta be sad about this rash.
Already back up to 1.9 mil.
I must go now. My people need me.
Referencing Poochie again.
It may be a load of crap, but hell if it isn't entertaining. Get your new issue of this.
Welcome to my humble shop. Don't have too much fun.
Please insert any donated organs into the receptacle below. Who needs a medical license when you got style?
The weakness of the bee is low capacity, so it tends to get knocked out often and fast. What level is my absorb? I think it's a 48. Yeah. In Borderlands 1, there were 4 brands of shields that I tended to stick with most of the time. Penguin for high capacity, Anshin for fast recharge, Torg for health boost, and Tediore for health regen. But I would only use a Tediore if it was their top of the line model, which is the Panacea. Now I'm interested in a Jacob's quad. Ever used a quad with a bee shield? Talk about getting stung by an entire hive. B plus buffalo equals beefalo. Oh yeah, I still need to farm for the hammer buster. I should probably do that before heading back to Lynchwood to slay that giant scat.
I'm legally obligated to tell you, I ain't a real doctor. You can't shoot me.
The dust. Purple label Jacob's cannon with a pig sticker. Oh, it's a perfect hybrid. All Torg parts and topped off with, I think, a bandit scope. If I recall, 38 is the highest
Welcome to Dr. Zed's
level of
Portable
stuff.
Clinic.
Yep,
What can I get for you?
available here.
Don't have too much fun.
Ain't nothing like squishing bitches under your tires, man.
Ugh! Well, isn't that interesting? See, because the Hammer Buster is a legendary scarab. I could have done that better with a good Jacob's revolver. I actually like the white label dull color scheme, that early 90s Desert Storm style of camo.
Who needs a medical license when you got style? Catch you later.
Goodbye, friend. If you shop anywhere else, have you, kid?
You remember the reason why I spawned 2 vehicles, right? Even though in this case I don't need to, it's just force of habit, standard procedure, etc. I wish the game would remember to leave my vehicle weapon the way I want it, instead of defaulting back to the saw blade. If I recall, in normal mode I got a lot of use out of both the Hammer Buster and the Buffalo while using the B.
This scooter's catch a ride. Hey, Dad, tell him back. That sounds like I'm playing your party.
I'm legally obligated to tell you, I ain't a real doctor. Next time you're bleeding to death, just think, doctor said.
I'm sure we'll be doing this again soon enough.
In Borderlands 1, you didn't have to reset your vehicle's weapon every time. It remembered the way, the game remembered the way you set it.
Big guy coming!
I would have made that shot had I been using a Jake. You know how I love to shoot enemies out of the air. TDR shotgun with Torg barrel. Probably the least desirable barrel to have on a Teddy shotgun. And of course the reason for that is because Teddy guns are grenades first, guns second. Or should be thought of that way. So you don't need to. You don't need a multi-barrel cluster on a Teddy shotgun. If you're using a Teddy shotgun, that is. Like if you're doing a TDR Allegiance run. Yeehaw! Seriously?
Hello, darling. Stay home to the slaughter. Like children. No. I love a hard kiss.
Next time you're bleeding to death, just think, doctor said.
You know what kind of grenades I like to use sometimes? Just a plain old slag contact 0.0 fuse time made by TDR or Bandit. Really?
He was angry.
Thunderball fists. Another 4-barrel Teddy shotgun. Did I ever talk about what the name Thunderball Fists is a reference to? I should probably be ashamed of myself for knowing this, but it's a reference to a 1970s Hong Kong film called The Super Infrared.
I'm legally obligated to tell you, I ain't a real doctor. You're an organ donor, right? Good luck.
What the hell are you doing? You ever notice that some enemies sometimes when there's a parked vehicle, they feel the need to get close to it and then stand next to it. And what's with this variation of levels? It's like it's ranging between 46 and 49, sometimes 50. 49 or 50 is what I want. Bushwhack. If I recall, a TDR shotgun with a torque barrel is called a Shotgun Supreme. I like that name. Even though if I were to do a TDR Allegiance run, I know I oftentimes say that it would not be something I would
Hey y'all, welcome to the new
likely do.
Now with 47% more than 26% death annually.
I would
Down from last year, hold your applause.
most likely stick with TDR shotguns that had either TDR or Hyperion barrels. Because the idea is to leave as much ammo in the gun as possible.
Time for 3 pounds of flesh.
I was expecting more.
Solid flesh with mouth. All end results.
Scored the B fast, but not the Hammer Buster. Oh, there's a gunnerang right there. It has a really interesting skin. Oh, look what we got here.
Oh, what's in the box?
7 is an excellent neo-noir film. Not a big fan of the Gwen's head. Fires a 7-round burst. That's just more than you need.
Welcome to Dr. Zed's Portable Clinic. What can I get for you? Zed out.
If I'm going to use a dull pistol, and it's not a special one, not a Hornet, etc., I prefer it to be parted in one of the following ways. If it has a matching dull barrel, then I don't like it to have a twin shot accessory because it fires an 8-round burst in 2x4 configuration, which is just, it messes enemies up fantastically, but it's an ammo waster. So I prefer a matching dull barrel with any accessory other than twin shot. Contrary-wise, if it's what am I doing? If it's an aftermarket dull pistol, like that one. It's got to have a twin shot accessory. And that one looked like it did it. Well, you can't really tell just by looking at it the difference between a twin shot accessory and the laser sight. The laser sight makes bullets go faster-ified. Bullets go faster-ified.
Welcome to Dr. Zed's Portable Clinic. What can I get for you? Try not to die.
Which compensates for the inherent weakness of Torg and Bandit barrels. Or Torg revolvers, or Bandit barrels. That being slow projectiles. Really? This game hates me. All that money I just earned, I had gambling money. I had built up.
Next time you're bleeding to death,
I had everything I needed and more. Remember, I said I wanted $2 million before I fought Dukino's parent, etc. Now all the time that I've spent gathering and selling all this stuff has been wasted. Because of something that I couldn't have done anything about. Because those assholes up there had no reason to follow me down here. There's no reason for you to care whether or not I kill McNally. Infinity right there. Another Thunderball Fists. With, well, let's just call it a twin shot accessory. Those jackholes that wiped out my gambling money. I'm going to have to kill them now. Each and every time. This is going to slow down this whole process. Now I know I can't trust the game. So now everyone has to die. This is my punishment for scoring the B so quickly. Really? That's all the damage?
My whole life was a joke.
It sure was.
Look at that.
Purple label. Electric Malawan SMG. It's only too bad it has a TDR barrel.
Oh, what's in the box?
Hope you had your shots.
Well, I've recovered what I lost.
Patch you whenever you need it.
Or at least I'm back up to my standard budget.
Another story. And the crowd goes wild.
Hey, if I can get a blue one of those. I'd gladly take. I mean, I wouldn't. And it's not like it's a substitute for the Hammer Buster. But you can find a room cleaner with the B. Good times. Hornet with a Malawan grip. You ever notice how Malawan grips don't have trigger guards?
Hi, this here's Scooter. I can get you where you need to go.
That's odd.
If he ain't dead, I'll keep you that way. Come on back. Anytime. Catch you later.
I've still got that blue electric Doom cleaner back in my collection. I'd like to get a non-elemental Doom cleaner with an orc sword blade attachment, just because it's cool.
My sweet, sweet blazing.
Organic or bust.
How do you defy gravity like that? It's not like you're wearing a jetpack.
I love a hard kill.
You ever notice how enemies in this game, when they drop down from a ledge, they can do it fast like they're defying gravity? With no apparent explanation as to how or why they're able to do it? You, the player, can't do that. In the pre-sequel, you can do that It's called a butt slam. Which I'm sure is probably... Oh, Bad Touch Double Oven Pounder. Which I'm sure is a reference to Mario 64. And it's really a misnomer because you're not slamming them with your butt, you're slamming them with your feet.
Hey, y'all, welcome to the new and improved Kitchen Ride. Now, 47%
Really, it's the... I'm pretty sure it's the Oz kit itself that generates the force.
Money, I'll save your gold-earned life.
Gatling gun.
See you real soon, I'm sure.
Always good resale value. Cannons, too. I've never been able to do anything with a Jacobs cannon that I couldn't do better with a Torg Hulk or Ravager. How the shit did you make that calculation? How was he able to calculate my movement speed and direction so perfect? Well, because he's controlled by artificial intelligence, of course. Oh, look at that. That looks like a purple droog with a pig sticker.
Oh, what's in the box?
Hi, this here is Scooter. I'll get you where you need to go.
Please insert any donated organs into the receptacle below. Catch you later.
Farewell, friend.
Cool that the machine gun is affected. The mounted machine gun is affected by the bee. I wonder if blades from the Ripsaw launcher do the same thing. I don't think I've ever tested that. How? I waited till you jumped and then I jumped. How do you make these? There's no possible way you could predict that. I waited till his legs were bent right before he lunged, and then I made my move. Ah, hellfire. Blue Label Jacobs sniper rifle with dull barrel. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I wouldn't mind one bit if all Jacobs sniper rifles were bolt action. I know it's not in keeping with the fires as fast as you can pull the trigger. But I don't think that has to be Jacob's shtick.
What can I get for you?
There, now I've recovered my gambling money. But imagine how much more I would have had otherwise if I hadn't become roadkill. I forgot to check the saw blade. Note to self, next time, the Jacobs truck.
I'm going to count every
There.
minute I get.
Just like dodging snorks. Purple label Vladoff fighter. Blue label doll peacemaker.
Oh, what's in the box?
It's a fine day, full of opportunity. Come back anytime.
Move aside!
Saw blades not affected. You know what that means, though?
My little girl! Why don't you come? That felt good.
That means I should try an outrunner with dual machine guns. Blue label TDR pistol with Hyperion barrel. Purple label TDR SMG. It's almost all Teddy except for a Malawan stock.
It's a fine day, full of opportunity. Remember, we're always...
Yep. This is the way to go when you're wearing a beat. That means I might as well stay in it while I destroy McNally. Well, every time I play this game, I learn something new. So it's a good thing that this process is occurring. Bandit Roid shield with that honeycomb looking thing, which is a pangolin part. Even though it kind of looks like it should be a Hyperion part. because the bunker, you have that honeycomb looking platform.
If he ain't dead, I'll keep you that way. Get out!
Another Blue Jake sniper. That could be either an amp or an absorb shield. Blue label either way.
Oh, what's in the box?
Man, this is where the cars live. Get you one.
Buy from me if you want to live. Try not to die.
Jacob's colors. Since I'm farming for a Jacob's weapon. Might have to take a break here pretty soon. I'm getting hungry. Oh, look at that. That's a perfect hybrid. A Blue Label Bombardier. I forget what that thing's called. There's a variation of it in the pre-sequel that shoots ice. It's a cryo machine gun. I like the pre-sequel. Some people don't, but I like it. Brings some new and different stuff to the table.
If you got the money, I'll save your goddamn life. Try not to die.
One more try, then I'm taking a break. But before I take a break, I'll probably go back to Sanctuary and check the shops. Now let me check something. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a break right now. My computer crashed. Oh, look at that. It looks like a Zero style Hyperion Perp SMG. I still need to put on that Medic Mantis head. And check the shops while I'm in Sanctuary. Now let's see, how do I make this look really cool? If you associate communism with freedom, you're an idiot. Atlas Medic, White Knight with Medic Mantis. That one. That looks cool.
I am everyone.
Oh, wait. Check the shops now.
Why loot the dead when you can buy from me? Don't die.
I'll hold off on gambling till after I have the Hammer Buster, and I might. It depends on how long it takes for me to get it. I might skip the gambling for this episode altogether. Still interested in... Still sick too. Still interested in a Bandit launcher. Bombardier preferred model, which has a flat-off barrel.
Get your health and shields right here.
Preferred parts are Malawan.
Stay alive out there.
Guns, guns, guns. Check back later to see my new weapon of the day. Good luck.
Interested in a new Determined Tactician class mod. Oh wait, the one I've got is Blue 48, so it'll be good for a while yet. Interested in a new relic. Blue or better. 48 or better.
It's a fine day, full of opportunity.
This again.
I'm sure we'll be doing doing this again soon enough.
If he ain't dead, I'll keep you that way.
Shut up, yeah.
Be careful out there.
I know I said before, I'm not going shock
Try not to
trooper.
die.
But if I had a Thunderball fists of appropriate level, I might consider it. Or, alternatively, a really high quality
Merchandise anywhere else. I made sure of that.
electric gun of some sort. My computer crashed and I took the time to go run some errands. Including but not limited to an oil change. And while I was out, I got some ice cream. But now, I'm eating a salad as my gaming snack. I know to some of you that might be heresy. It's the same kind of salad I was eating before. It's got romaine lettuce in there, Campari tomatoes and cucumbers, and I had an extra Campari tomato and I cut it into equal quarters and put that in there. And then I slathered the whole thing in Italian dressing. You're dressed kind of like me.
How about that?
If I was wearing that,
Always knew I needed a mug.
the Crimson Lance helmet.
Excuse me.
Idea that I hope is in Borderlands 3. Access to a stashy-majig from any fast travel or new use station. Either or. Could be either of those or both. Wait, what am I? Oh, yeah. White label Torg revolver with Cheetor barrel and bandit grip. Blasé to the max. The Cheetor pistol barrel isn't bad though. It adds neither bonus nor penalty. But it has no front sight. So if it occurs on
Had your shots. You're an organ donor.
a gun that has a rear sight that doesn't line up right, it can be hard to aim, and the same is true for bandit pistol sights. They have no front sight. Aside from a hammer buster, I'm also interested in a blue 48 or better Teddy SMG, even though I've got this. I don't know. I've been scoring second wins just fine for the most part with the weapons I've got, so I might not necessarily need that. Hey, now look at that. A purple scalp with no extra doll parts. Remember, that's the only sniper rifle made by doll that I actually like.
Buy from me if you want to live. You're an organ donor.
Why does she walk in front of you like that? Why didn't they have her walk a different path? I love those exploding noises. Also interested in, and just assume everything has to be blue 48 or better. A Doom Cleaner or a quad. I'll take either of those. Could maybe go for a Torg rocket launcher, but only if it has a Malawan barrel. And no Torg parts. Even I know Torg parts give you a lot of damage, but they also mean slow projectiles and lesser accuracy. Blue TDR shotgun. Almost built entirely from TDR parts, except for the so-called grip, which is actually a forearm, which in that case was Hyperion.
If you ain't dead, I'll keep you that way. Catch you later.
Now, if you ain't a stickler for seatbelts, airbags, or engines that don't go boom and push too hard, you come right. All right.
Kablooey go nuts. splattered across the sand. The purple relic, it looks like, yeah. So it increases melee damage and speeds up action skill cooldown. It looks kind of misleading to me because here it says melee damage and then it says that and then it says enhances melee ability. So it's reiterating one of its two features but not both of them, which I find problematic. Well, I know it's wrong of me to expect consistency. Infinity. Perfectly parted. Topped off with a Torg sight, which would not be my first choice. As I say, Torg reflex sights are overbuilt. I can tolerate them on machine pistols, but I don't like them on revolvers. Because they exaggerate the appearance of recoil.
Welcome to Dr. Zed's Portable Clinic. What can I get for you?
I don't know. This would be perfect for Krieg. That's not a bad chunk of change. That's at least like 2.5 or 3 gambles. I'll hold on to it for now. Still don't understand why it reiterates one of its two features without doing the same for the other one. That makes me wonder if it actually does both, or if it just says it does. We melancholies don't like ambiguity. Hunting longer range killer.
Buy from me if you want to live. See you real soon, I'm sure. Catch a ride!
Explodey go nuts and a Hodeo Joe.
catch you later.
I think Zero is actually my favorite character to play as, but I tend to do best as Axton. That was fast. If by do best we mean die the fewest number of times. Is this another green 47? Green 48. Have you ever done a Doll Allegiance run as Axton? Oh, look at that. A Hulk Jacobs forearm Torg stock, topped off, unfortunately, with a Jacobs scope. But other than that, and it's a purple Hulk, too. If it had a Torg reflex sight, it's only too bad
If you want to live.
some jackhole felt the need to make it mandatory for perps and ledges to have structurally superfluous optical attachments. Otherwise, I'd say it would be perfect with iron sights and an orc sword blade attachment. Otherwise, Torg reflex sight plus orc sword blade attachment. Then, it's a perfect Krieg weapon. For a rampage build. I want to do the double tap.
Come to me, my pasty cake! Just need hand
There it is.
Awesome.
It's a 46 for some reason. But I'll take it. Let's see what all it's got. Jacob's grip, Vladov stock, Jacob's scope. It's accurate enough to warrant a scope. So this is pretty much a medium-range para sniper rifle. Only beefed up for, like, I guess you could say big game hunting. I'll take it. Would have preferred at least a 48, but this has taken long enough. Compared to how long it took me to get the B, I just seem to have the best luck with the B. Normal mode and Tango Victor Hotel Mike. Only took me a couple of tries to get the B both times. Maybe it's because I'm a friend to bees in real life.
Get your health and shields right here.
Still going to keep this, though. Oh. Yeah, I'll go ahead and sell that.
Next time you're bleeding to death, just think.
Did I ever tell you about the time I rescued a bumblebee from drowning? Now there's a baby maker. It's almost entirely built from TDR parts aside from the Bandit stock. So, a couple of summers ago, I was watching over my friend's kids, which I often sometimes do in the summertime. I'm like a trusted friend of the family. And for me, it's like being a camp counselor, because I get to teach them about nature stuff. By the way, did you know Harrison Ford was a nature counselor when he was a teenager? That's the kind of interesting fun facts you can learn from watching not only commentary tracks, but also
I am gone already.
movie documentaries, in this case Indiana Jones. This, well, let's see, that's Torg, that's Vladov. I forget what this does, this accessory, and I think that's a Malawan scope. Now, my INFP BFF, aka my former roommate, actually one of my two former roommates, if we want to get technical, who some of you might know as Hyphen, he absolutely loathes commentary tracks. The way he figures it, he just wants to watch the movie for the movie itself. He's not interested to learn the insider information or whatever you want to call that.
New issue of this just in. It's propagantastic.
Did you ever see the movie Network?
When you think murder, take Marcus Munition.
So anyway, that's his view on that, and then I'm the exact opposite.
Farewell, Blade.
I love commentary tracks. I love gaining insight into where artists and storytellers get their inspirato.
Get out.
What's going on with Jack's face?
Now I will gamble and then call it for this episode. Slaggin' Vlad. So the Hammer Buster, I guess, is kind of like, in functional terms, An AR-15 with wood furniture converted to some beefy caliber like 458 SOCOM or 50 Beowulf. Except that it has a wagon wheel for a magazine. I guess you could also compare it, again in functional terms, to an AR-10. By the way, yes, you can get aftermarket wood furniture for an AR-15. It's pretty snazzy.
Pandora's changed.
So if you had an AR-15 with
I can fix that.
something like, well, let's say, an OD green oxide finish or phosphate finish or something like that, and wood furniture, aftermarket wood furniture, it could no longer be called a black rifle. Those evil black rifles. Black is boring but functional. I mean, if we're talking black plastic on firearms. Boring but practical. Tease. You ever notice how not bad, not bad. Ever notice how most Jacobs legendaries are aftermarket? Maybe not most, but at least two of them are. The Striker and the Hammerbuster are both in aftermarket configuration. The Striker with the Hyperion barrel and the Hammerbuster with the doll barrel. Let's get a look at that Raykel. Oh, this is a good one. Vladoff grip, Jacobs stock, Vladoff scope. Good capacity. One of the two best types of sniper rifles for sale. The other being the Drew. Tease. Tease. Fires tri-bursts and has a 6-round mag. If it has any extra doll parts, which looks like a Jacobs grip and a Hyperion stock. Yeah. So tri-bursts. The Jacobs sniper rifle grip looks like a Torg revolver grip, sort of, in my opinion. Anyway. Tease. Bandit barrel is my second fave to have on a Torg blast rifle. Top fave Jacobs. Cheese. Oh, I went down below 2 million. Have you ever gotten slicing rock salt? That's an awesome
Buy
gun.
from me if you want to live.
Keep it, keep it. Sell these and these.
Come on back anytime.
I'll stash the double tap. Just not ready to retire. More versatile than a Gatling gun. Now, what do I want to do with this? The Doom Cleaner. I should probably keep my Hulk.
Explain it to me again.
Well, of course, I'm going to keep my Hulk. I mean, continue using the Hulk. If I find a high accuracy Doom Cleaner, then I might consider using that instead. A high accuracy, non-elemental Doom Cleaner. Cheese. By the way, why do you need a shell carrier on a gun that uses detachable box mags? Tease. I like Tenor's system of nomenclature.
What if I keep my own mouth?
Tease. Tease. Well, that ought to do it. I would have had about twice as much gambling money had I not become roadkill at one time.
Welcome to Dr. Zed's Portable Clinic. What can I get for you? I'll patch you up whenever you need.
Was almost going to say that's a bad omen, but it's 4 6s, not 3. It has to specifically be 666, a number associated with the Roman Empire, in any and all of its incarnations. I need to get some use out of this. Just not ready to retire this or this yet. These are some of my favorite types of standard issue guns right here. Double tap, Doom Cleaner, Lance. Could get some more use out of that deputy's badge, but with the B, when you're playing as Axton and you're using a B, I mean, you might as well augment that as much as possible. So Tactician and Protection Relic that boosts shield capabilities. Oh, by the way, B plus Buffalo equals Beefalo. B plus Bone Shredder equals Bone Stinger. At least that's what I call it. And I'm definitely going to farm for a Bone Shredder. That will be for later. Catch you on the flip side, and see you next mission, slabs.